What's going on? It's Morgan. Thursday night. Just got home from work. And I'm fucking tired, so I just thought I would get some things off my mind here. Give you guys a little retelling of an experience I had on the first day of school, which was this past Monday. That I think would be entertaining to you guys and was definitely a lesson to me. So I'm at this school. I go to a school of like 2,000-ish kids, and I'm doing an internship program. And there's another kid who's in the internship program, and we all met in the library that morning to get our paperwork together and get everything set up for our internships. And those people are still doing all of that stuff. But since I'm interning with a teacher at the school, I don't have to worry about that. By the way, we're listening to Conceived in Sewage from, 2012? I don't remember. 2013 maybe. But this kid sitting in front of me, I wore my favorite shirt on the first day of school, as you do. I wore my Cannibal Corpse t-shirt, and I had a Cannibal Corpse patch on my back, on my backpack. And he asks me, "Do you even listen to Cannibal Corpse?" And I was kind of taken aback. I didn't even really give him a straight answer because I'd never been asked that type of question about my shirts before, because no one at my school, to my knowledge at least before that, had ever listened to any of the music that I like. So I go, "Yeah, I do." And his first response is, "They suck." And I get that might be his opinion, but I don't understand why you would ever start a conversation with someone about a band that they clearly love and say, "Oh yeah, they suck." That seems like a shitty, slimy asshole thing to do, just to me. But anyways, so this conversation continues, right? And he goes, "What other bands do you listen to?" And so I started listing off a couple of bands. I said like Leviathan, Devourment, Cannibal Corpse, Dark Throne, Infinite Annihilator. And I said Infinite Annihilator because I feel like that would have been one of the ones that he might have heard of, because I suspected that he was the type who listens to mainly core stuff, despite the fact that he has a Suffocation hoodie that he wore once, which I thought was pretty cool. And he goes, "Have you ever listened? Do you know who Jamie Josta is?" And I go, "Yeah, I know who that is, because I've seen Hatebreed, and they were great. I like Hatebreed, and I like Jamie Josta for the most part. I don't know why I wouldn't. I don't really know too much about him, but." He goes, "Yeah, man, Hatebreed's fucking heavy. I love Hatebreed." And I go, "Yeah, Hatebreed's pretty cool." And he goes, "Did you see him with Slipknot?" And I go, "Yeah, like, because there was a show where Slipknot came and Hatebreed opened for them." And he goes, first of all, this is just something that pissed me off that he mentioned. He was like, "Oh yeah, I was the one in the pit who was doing this the whole time, man." And I was like, wow, fuck that, man. But I didn't say anything. I was like, "Oh, really? I was in the pit too." I was just moshing and stuff. And this pit was fucking gigantic. Anyways, so he asked me to start listing all these bands, so I do. And he goes, "Well, what?" And since I guess he doesn't really know these bands, that's fine. He goes, "Well, what genres do you like to listen to?" And I go, "I listen to a lot of black metal and death metal and crossover and crust punk and hardcore punk stuff, and more like legit normal punk like Bad Religion and Dead Kennedys and everything like that." And he kind of starts telling me, well, first of all, something that made me want to kill myself was, he goes, "Oh, black metal? You like the Black Dahlia murder?" And I go, "What the fuck?" But anyways, that was just something that I thought was a little tidbit, because he clearly doesn't know anything about black metal. And it's clear to me at this point that he doesn't really know too much about the subject that we're talking about, but that's fine. Like, it's not like a necessary thing. Plus, I don't want to be an asshole. I'll get to that towards the end. So he starts telling me some of his favorite bands. He goes, "Oh yeah, like Jamie Josta's side project that he does on the side, other than Hatebreed, they're pretty fucking good. Like, dude, I fucking love Attila. Attila's so heavy. That's one of my favorite death metal bands." And I was like, And then he keeps listing off all these core bands, and that's fine. Core's whatever. I used to like Core a lot, and he fucking. I mentioned that I'm not very into core music, like metalcore, deathcore, post-hardcore, stuff like that. Or I'm not into any of those bands' newer releases, just because I haven't been keeping up with them. And I'm sure I would like some of them, but he goes, "You don't like core? What do you think Cannibal Corpse is?" And I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, you always will run into, mainly on the internet, you'll run into people who are ignorant and think that they know more than they do. And we've all been that person, but this was like shocking. Like, you don't like metalcore? What do you think Cannibal Corpse is? Maybe death metal? Just a little fucking inkling of death metal in there somewhere. I don't know. Fucked with a knife. That's pretty metal. That's pretty death metal. Anyways, that really fucking irked me. That, the Attila comment, the hardcore dancing, and him thinking that Black Dahlia Murder was black metal. Those 4 things kind of turned me off of this kid, and I was like, well, I don't fuck with this kid. But the whole time I was trying so fucking hard. I didn't want to be an asshole to him, because if the first person he sees wearing a death metal shirt or a black metal shirt is an asshole to him, he's going to be completely turned off of extreme metal or whatever, and he's going to think that all of us are assholes. And I know back in the days when I was really into a few certain bands and I wasn't really interested in expanding my horizons, one of those bands, namely Slipknot, if anyone had questioned that band or been a dick to me about how they're not true metal or whatever, and that person was wearing like a Mayhem shirt, I would say, oh, fuck Mayhem. I'm not listening to that shit. That asshole listens to Mayhem. I don't want to be like him. So everyone goes through the phase of listening to the more popular stuff and just kind of scraping the surface of the more underground stuff. And I don't want me being an asshole, one guy being an asshole to him, to ruin an entire experience of an entire genre for him. Because I've been the cringy fucking core kid who thinks he knows everything about death metal because he listened to Hammer Smash Face once. So, long story short, if you are, this is just the moral of my story, I guess. If you are a representative of a group that isn't very well represented where you are, for me, I would be like, if there was a black and death metal conference or something, and every school in my area had to send one kid, I would be the kid. Even though I don't claim to be an expert on any of this shit, but I'm the closest thing our school has. So, because of that, I represent the metal scene, I guess, the metal community. I embody it. So if I'm an asshole to him about the music that he listens to, he's going to immediately think all of those guys are assholes. So if you are a representative of a group and you are talking to someone who shows even a shred of interest in that, don't fuck it up for them, because we've all been the new kid in whatever scene we're part of. Like, I solve Rubik's Cubes, just for example, and over time I've gotten faster with solving them, but when I started solving them, it took me like 3 minutes to solve it each time. And so if some asshole with a Rubik's Cube said, "You fucking suck, you're stupid, because you don't get this Rubik's Cube and you can't solve it in 20 seconds, that would have made me say, fuck solving Rubik's Cubes, that sucks because that asshole said I'm stupid, so why would I want anything to do with that community?" So, that was my encounter with a poser, or, I don't know what I would call him. My encounter with a potential metal fan who I tried really, really, really hard not to ruin everything for him. And I really fucking hope that he looks into some of the bands that I was talking about and gets into metal, and I can talk to him about, we can have mutual exchange where we tell each other about bands that we will both enjoy. Anyways, that was just a ramble. But thanks for watching. Fucking like, subscribe, listen to gnarly fucking music. I've been Morgan, and